If you're looking to grow and scale your drone business, then this video is for you. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna walk you through my 9 years of experience in the drone industry, lessons learned, and really advice that you can take to grow and improve how you run your drone business as well. If you don't know me, my name is Eno Umo. I've been in the industry since 2015, and I've gone from being a drone pilot to now a drone consultant, where I help and advise other drone companies with strategy and growth in sales and marketing. But one of the biggest things I've learned really is having awareness of where you are on the journey and those different stages that you go through just being an entrepreneur and all the challenges that come with it as well. Every entrepreneur, especially in emerging industries like drone technology, experiences what we call this emotional cycle of change. We have our 5 key stages, which you can see here. Number 1 being uninformed optimism. Number 2, informed pessimism. Number 3, the dreaded valley of despair. Number 4, informed optimism. And number 5, success and fulfillment. So I'm going to break down each of these one by one for you so you can understand where you are on your journey. And really, you're going to understand that we've all been on this journey before. And hopefully this will give you some insight in how you can stay positive and really find that motivation along your journey. All right, so stage 1 is uninformed optimism. And this really is like the honeymoon phase where everything seems possible, right? You're on cloud 9, you're thinking about all the money that you're going to be making, with drones and all the connections you have and all the, opportunities that are going to be coming your way. And really, the only thing that's keeping from you and the money is the drone, right? It's like, I've been there before. I understand, what those feelings are like. But the reality is, at this stage, you're often unaware of the complexities and the challenges ahead, right? You've seen this cool drone, you see it flying around, and it's going to be a really good piece of technology, probably something different than what you've been doing before, but you really haven't understood, what are those challenges that are going to come with that. So that's why we say uninformed optimism, because you really don't know, right? You're very excited at that time. Now that gets us into stage 2, where we have informed pessimism, right? So you're going below this pessimism line and you realize that, reality is setting in, right? You begin to see the hurdles and really the doubts start to overshadow this optimism that you just had. And, you really realize that like building a successful drone business is going to be much harder than it seemed, before. And right here is, also when you realize that the learning curve is a bit steep, right? There's a big difference between flying a drone really well and running your drone business and getting leads and sales and marketing. So there's really like a long list that you now have to do and keep check on to make sure your business is running. And that really can cause some issues when you realize, how daunting of a task this is going to be. Number 3 is really like the lowest point. So we call this the valley of despair. And to be honest, this is where most people quit. Most people realize like how tough it is and really how much passion they don't have for it, right? So they end up just quitting. And a lot of people kind of continue in this cycle, right? You can probably imagine even some projects that I've had previously where, I got into some, idea and I thought it was going to go really well up front. And then, a couple months later, like nothing's happening, there's no traction, and I just, decided to quit. So that's how I really knew that drones were a different thing to me, right? I've been able to go through, and this valley of despair, this doesn't just happen once, right? You are going to go through ebbs and flows of business. You may be on for a few months and then go through a drought for another couple of months, but understand that this is all part of the game, right? Hitting that low point is very, very normal, and it's not always going to make sense. So again, most people quit here, and you don't want to be one of those type of people that just repeat stage 1 through 3, right? You give something a shot, 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, even a year, right? And you're like, hey, this isn't working, and you just quit, right? It's important to kind of stick with it. So yeah, I understand motivation here is at an all-time low. You're probably even just fighting, to pay bills and just figure out, what is the next step. But the most successful entrepreneurs, drone entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general, they've all found a way to get past this stage. And I'm going to tell you some tips you can keep in mind as you're moving to those later stages. But the most important thing is you're pushing past this and getting to stage 4, which we see here is informed Uninformed Optimism. So after you've gotten through that lowest stage, you now start to understand like, all right, these are the things that actually caused a breakthrough, or these are the things that I really have to do to build my business. So you're going to start to see results, right? You get a better grasp on what works, and really your confidence begins to build, right? Where it was in stage one. So you're often going to see some sort of breakthrough here, like landing a significant contract or developing a new strategy, or just finding a way to like get more clients into your pipeline. Once you pass here, we're now reaching stage 5, where you've been at it for a while, you've gone through your challenges, you've heard so many no's, but now you're starting to get paid, from these gigs, you're starting to get more opportunities, and it really is a great feeling to see these things come together. Like all of you, I always think back to how, Global Air was just an idea, right? This wasn't a thing, this wasn't a company, before, but over time we've been able to, work and mold ourselves in a way that this is a full-fledged company. And now we've worked in, over 28 countries, and we have so many opportunities to go out and do more. So it really is just kind of being in the mindset that, hey, pushing through this, and at this stage 5, success and fulfillment, finally overcome the challenges and have achieved your goals. So again, looking back at this is going to go up and down, over time, but the most successful people have just been in it the longest. There really is no secret to this. It just comes down to simply that if you've been doing this for long enough, you're going to see results, over time. Just talk through a couple of tips that are going to help you navigate this valley of despair and really kind of help keep you pushing. The first thing I would say is to understand delayed gratification. And this is something that I had to come to terms with as a drone entrepreneur. You're not always going to close those jobs right away. Sometimes clients can take weeks, months, even up to a year sometimes to close certain type of clients. Some of these opportunities that you do maybe for free or maybe at a low or reduced cost, you won't really see the return on those for some time down the line. So you need to be happy with putting and just planting seeds right now and knowing that they're going to pay off. If you go in kind of really thinking that these things are going to happen so fast and so quickly, you're going to be, very disappointed. Second thing is just, continuous learning. 4 skills that I always talk about is marketing, sales, writing, and speaking. And if you are getting better at those 4 core skills, there's no way that you're not going to see a breakthrough, right? You're going to know how to persuade people better with writing. You're going to know how to presenting your case and presenting your business idea. As you are deliberately helping, to upskill yourself, you're going to see a breakthrough. Even for me, one of the things that really was a turning point for me is actually when I took a copywriting course. And that copywriting course, was totally out of my norm and like what I'm used to doing. But because I was able to learn how to write effectively, that totally changed how I approached LinkedIn, how I wrote emails. And now, I'm seeing the numbers continue to go up, and my market, continues to get bigger because they're following the things that I'm doing. The third thing just to consider when getting through that, valley of despair is your why. Think about, why you started this business and really get deep, right? It's not just to make money. One thing we always say is it's bigger than drones. So we're doing this, of course, for our families. We're doing this for community. We're doing this to improve the lives of others, right? So really think about like why you actually started to do this. And once you're able to tap into that over time, all these dark spaces and all these like disappointing, stages that you go through, that passion really is going to show through, right? Because you really can't get that from anywhere else. You're not going to get that, on your lowest day. You really need to remember like what makes you, passionate about this whole thing. Another thing to consider is seeking guidance and mentorship. You can't do this all on your own, and it's impossible for just one person to build such a large company and idea on your own. So I'm going to be talking more about, delegating tasks and the importance of that as well. But you need to surround yourself with successful entrepreneurs, getting mentorship, getting into a group, just surrounding your people with those who know what they're doing, that have been in this game for a while, and that can give you some, healthy advice. And so lastly, we'll kind of just finish with just be better than the 90%, right? As I mentioned before, most people end up quitting in stage 3. And it's actually about 90% of people who end up getting into something, they don't like it, it's not going their way, and they end up quitting. So if you're better than at 90%, that means that you have the ability to persevere, to kind of keep going and just figure things out. A lot of times it's just people don't give it enough time to work things out and to work through, these issues. So I really would just kind of look into that and just understand that, hey, like this is normal. Drone entrepreneurs especially go through this. And the harsh reality is, yes, it takes time. It's not going to be easy, but that's what entrepreneurship, is about. And again, the most successful people have been doing this for a long time, and they just simply, figured it out. So my advice is just to keep the pressure on, take all the advice that comes, surround yourself with, other successful entrepreneurs, and you'll definitely find your way. If you are looking for some help in growing and strategizing your business, I do help drone businesses through our program called Drone Business Masterminds. It's here for you to grow and to really just to grow and help you scale your business. So book a call with me if you're looking to learn more about our program and how I could potentially help you as well. And I'll see you in the next video.